Hi.
I, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Sorry,
I'm
I think we
good.
talked at the same time.
I know. Well, we were chatting before we hit record because we know each other, and I wish we were in person recording at This Is It Network in Center City.
I know. I wish. Hopefully, we'll see each other soon, and then you'll also be seeing so many other amazing people soon, so you can start, recording in person again. It feels connection is always good, like in-person connection.
I know, and I'm definitely a hugger. I mean, I haven't disliked this. Like, being home is nice too. I'm introverted and extroverted, but
Hmm.
it's yeah. So here we are. It's Wednesday,
Oh,
and it's time for some midweek motivation.
my cat is in this. Sorry.
Wait, let them come in. Are you kidding me? If you watch some of the episodes, if you saw what comes through, yay! I love pets. I grew up with a cat,
Yay.
actually, and we have a little white fluffy puppy. So
Aw,
I
that's
know.
Freddie, everybody.
Freddie. That's a great name. So thank you guys for pressing play and watching this week's Mindset Motivation with Sara. I'm gonna have Sara introduce herself and take it away.
So I'm Sara. I guess on the career end, I'm a digital marketing specialist. I work with typically small to mid-sized businesses. I just like helping them with their growth and like seeing the excitement as we build out their business. But beyond that, obviously I'm a cat lover. Actually, I love all animals. I involve myself in a lot of animal rescue and rehabilitation. That's kind of like my side project. All of my neighborhood cats have names, and I try to make sure that they're trapped, neutered, and released so that they receive vaccinations and, they're taken care of and they're just as loved as their in-home counterparts. So you'll usually see me walking around the neighborhood, petting all the neighborhood animals. That's probably the thing people know about me the most. Wait, what?
You're like Snow White.
I love all the animals. It's nice. I have a park that I go to for my morning walk, and all the pet owners, like, they're walking their dog. They're like, "Is that your best friend, Sara?" And they'll like let the dog run over to me. It makes me feel super happy. I'm like, I love dog best friends. Like, I'll be all of your best friends. So, anyways.
No, that's great. It's so awesome. What comes to mind, and this is just a random little nugget, and I share little nuggets, but depending on what your sign is, like Virgos are drawn to animals. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I'm a Pisces.
Oh,
So
Pisces. Yes.
yeah, so maybe it's like the sensitivity, and I know like that's typically what our Pisces are a little bit more like of an empath and like a little bit more I'm not sure. I don't want to. I know you know more about this than myself.
Well,
So
I'm learning every day. I just say I'm a wannabe astrologist because I really am. It's so fascinating,
it is.
And every day you can learn a little nugget because our great wide universe is entirely huge. And how do you learn it all? You have to, it's just little pieces bit by bit. But so on that note, I feel like we should kick it off with your 2-word story because I'm dying to know what it is. I don't know what it is. So please share, what is your 2-word story?
So recently, and this is kind of like a tie-in to just like myself and my own experiences, but also hopefully viewers and everybody, like kind of something that we can all take away from. For me, the 2-word story is be open. So for myself, we've spoken, obviously we were recently speaking, like I deal with anxiety in a lot of different things. So for me, I really want to be open to experiences that normally I might just kind of shy away from.
Yes.
I've, dealt with many instances where I was just too afraid and I just kind of closed myself off instead of being open to the experience, whether that experience ended with something really great or maybe the experience wasn't great, but I like left with a lesson as to like what I may not do in the future in that type of situation. But I think like during this season, I'm really trying to use that as my 2-word story, my mantra, just to like say, okay, be open to this. show up to something, be open to the opposite, be open to saying no to something that I would normally feel obligated to say yes to for one reason or another.
Right.
And if we want to tie it into just like things that are happening right now, being open could be like, be open to learning or unlearning things, you know, from your past, whether it's, you know, just current events, your own life, you know, like if you're unlearning past, you know, thoughts about yourself, or you're unlearning things you may have learned just from your environment. If you're then learning new things, that's great too. And being open to accepting praise, accepting constructive criticism, because obviously we know there's a difference between full-fledged criticism and constructive, which somebody wants to, you know, help you grow. So I think just being open to what you need to be open with in that moment is very key, just because I think when we're just not opening ourselves up to new experiences, we're kind of stunting our growth. And I know for a long time, I dealt with a really bad breakdown in 2018, and I literally kind of just collapsed, and I just did not do anything for a while, and I wasn't open to anything. And while it was an experience and like a life, like a very much so like a life learning experience, feel like there were a lot of like missed opportunities that I just don't want to have to go through again. So
Wow.
that's why I think just being open to that change, to learning, to experiences, is super important for myself. And hopefully, you know, it might be helpful for somebody else who's listening right now too, just to be like, yeah, I'm going to be a little bit more open. Doesn't have to be some drastic change. Could just be saying yes to one thing this week that you maybe, or listening or learning to one thing that you're open to expanding yourself with.
This is amazing. Like, as you were sharing all that beautiful, you know, reasoning, and that you're sharing your heart behind why you chose be open. Some things came to mind as well, because that be open mantra, you can check in with yourself at the end of the day and say, did I live up to this mantra, be open? And if I didn't, why? Because it's a way to check in and not be stuck. So when you said be open, what I see, and this is probably the yoga instructor coming out in me, but I see your heart like just shining and like being open to all ideas, and like you said, the people out in the world. Like, just be open, and being open translates to freedom.
Yes.
Like, just feel like if you're not open, you're closed, you might feel stuck.
Yes. Yes.
Open,
Yes.
be open. And then I just it's such a powerful reminder for us all, because that second thing that came to mind and what you were sharing, which is so important, is right now, the current moment we're in, with the shifts that are going on right now. So there's shifts going on with coronavirus, and then you have this, you know, racism problem going on in our country. And so these heavy things going on. But then astrologically, there's a lot of planets in retrograde, there's shifts. So we're all feeling a certain way. So be open to what you're feeling. Don't ignore it. Is
Mm-hmm.
right? You're saying, like, to tune into what's going on inside of you. If you feel called to make a change somewhere, like, be open to it. Explore it, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I just think like right now it's just like, I think this is just like a lot of people's callings at this moment. Just like now that, you know, we're faced with, you know, everything that's happening, everything that's happened, everything that's, you know, in our own personal lives, that maybe like, I think this is just like that time where we're able to maybe see a little bit clearer. I know everybody's been saying like 2020 vision, and like I think the interesting thing, and I've had this conversation with the whole 2020 concept, a lot of people were like, oh, it's going to be 2020, like vision, like clear year. And it's like, I don't think it was clear in terms of like there not being anything in our path and just being a simplistic year. I think that 2020 was just the year that like clarity just came out, and things like the blanket, like the whatever was ripped off of everything, so we could see things super clearly. And people, you know, or, you know, there's just a lot that has happened this year. So
to become more clear. I almost,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So it's just interesting. Like I said,
Like
people,
you brought that up.
yeah, I've been thinking about it. And like I said, I think in 2019, when everybody thought 2020 was coming, they thought it was going to be a different kind of clarity. But I think that this maybe was like a hard lesson kind of year that brought us more clarity, not so much as just like a nice little like easy, kind of like meandering through the year kind of thing. So it's a year of lessons for sure. But again, being open to those lessons, being open to what those lessons maybe
Right.
put a fire inside of you with, and acting upon that and pivoting and doing whatever you need. I think that those are all ways in which we can all be open. So
Love it. Oh, it's such a beautiful 2-word story share. So Sarah, thank you so much
of course.
for coming on and, even sharing vulnerably that you have the anxiety. Like it's definitely hard I was ashamed to admit that I had bad anxiety, a few years ago, and having that struggle you went through in 2018 taught you so much. So like the struggle needs to happen in order for us to grow and know that we can be open. Right. So I'm so proud of you. I'm just like, I love you.
I love you too.
I will absolutely, share all of Sarah's information below because she's really, really good at what she does as well. So if you need to reach out to her from a digital marketing standpoint, or you just want to follow and say hi, we're in this together. We're a community that's sharing mindset and 2-word stories. And hopefully to those who press play, we hope that you were able to just be lifted from this 2-word story share. And maybe you decide to take Be Open and put it at the top of your journal and journal on it for yourself. Ask yourself a few questions. Do you feel stuck? Do you feel like you want to be open? And where is it that you need to feel an opening? So just do some free journaling on it. And we're here for you guys. We're here. So thank you guys so much. Happy Wednesday to everyone, and sending lots of love. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
Bye.